Welcome to the first ever episode of the Do You podcast. Today we got YouTube legend and extraordinaire Gregoire Gontier. And this is Khalil and Greg, your host. So we're just going to hop on into it. So Greg.
What's poppin', bro?
Do you believe in God?
Do I believe in God?
Yeah, we're just going to hop into it.
Let's go. Wow. Okay, bro. Wow.
And that doesn't necessarally mean, religion or anything like that.
Right.
You don't want to answer the question again.
I thought I was coming here to talk about soccer.
Eventually, we'll get to that.
We can talk about God. Honestly, I don't have a very strong opinion on it yet, because I feel like I'm like really young, and I'm probably gonna learn about that stuff later. Like with life experience and stuff. But as of right now, I don't believe in God.
Yeah.
I think stuff just happens.
Okay, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I grew up pretty religious. I went to church a lot as a kid.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
Christian stuff until maybe 11, and then my dad's Muslim, so he taught me about that. So now it's for the past, I'd say since I'm 11, I was Christian, and then after that, I'm Muslim. So
sure.
Definitely could be more steadfast, in my faith. But I believe.
Couldn't we all?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I was raised Catholic too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to church every single Sunday.
Jeez.
Until from birth to maybe 16.
Okay.
And then around there I started,
So kind of recent too.
So yeah, kind of recent. Wow. It's been 4 years. But I mean, even when I went to church, honestly, especially the last couple years, it was I'd just be like, I don't want to go, and then my mom would just force me, and then I'd be like, okay. But eventually, she just got tired of me sleeping at church. And so
that's one thing I remember because I used to go to Sunday school when I was a kid, and then when I grew up a little more, actually sit in the prayers and stuff. Yeah. But I remember in Sunday schools we would either watch a movie about Jesus and coming and doing that. Yeah, it's I have a scene vivid in my mind still from when I was 7 or something, where it's it was such a B-list movie too that they showed us, because it's always because you don't get that many A-list A-tier movies, but about religion or anything like that.
The new Jesus.
It looked like it was shot on some camcorder or something. They're shooting, but it's it's just walking and someone spoke from the sky and post-edit type shit. And go over. But I don't know. It's a wild
Sunday school too, man. I did my mom hosted Sunday school actually. So we we'd have kids come over to our house. Oh shit. And we'd learn all about Jesus, learn all about the stories and stuff.
I think they're very well. That's the thing, at least about the Bible. It's because as a kid growing up, whatever you just Clifford, the Bible.
Right.
And what was the other one? Something about a boat. I forget the other story. But those were the ones.
No, not Moses. You're talking about the Arch of Noah?
I think so.
Or Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark.
Right, not Arch of Noah.
Yeah, no. But that's one thing. That's basically what I would.
So that's
really?
Arch of Noah. Yeah, Noah's Ark.
Yeah, but that's
that one I don't believe in.
No, it's possible.
Straight up, no, it's not. It's not possible. He single-handedly with his wife and kids built a boat that held at least 2 of every species on Earth.
I mean, it could have been a raft. We don't know.
Bro, it's a big-ass raft. That's a big raft.
It's just the continent of Africa.
It's the raft, bro. Literally.
Yeah.
No, not doable.
I mean, we'll never know, I suppose.
And then, he made it alive with all that shit, but no one else did.
Yeah, well, that's a wild story, too, because I'm pretty sure his eldest son didn't believe in him, that the flood was coming. And so his eldest son died or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a wild story but
there's some.
But I feel like they're taken more as in sophomore year. So I did English honors, and in sophomore year we had to do biblical allusions, and so we broke it into groups, and then we would not read the part of the Bible, but know the allusions and stuff and do presentations on them. And so I feel like that's kind of what. Because I think it's something the Bible's the most sold book ever in history.
Oh, yeah,
so I feel like that's the lessons there, where it's more either moral or ethical lessons or anything like that that it can translate to. That's a lot of how I see religion, I suppose, is like it's a lot of like how should you live your life, or how's the best way to be like a good person, you know? But you don't necessarily need that from. I mean, you could just find that out, you know. It's not necessarily
true, but like if you look at like any of the I actually just wrote an essay for anthropology.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Kinden's class, of course, and it was about well, you probably had to write the same thing, right?
I did mine on prison systems, yeah.
On prison systems.
Yeah, we can talk about that
in a second. How did you write 15 pages?
Bro, it was 20 pages.
The Yanomamo people.
No, I didn't do it on Yanomamo. I did mine on Norway, China, and America prison systems.
Wow. Wait. I thought okay, for sure. Because for us, we had to our research paper.
You did honors, yeah.
Yeah. Our research paper had to be about we had to compare something in the Yanomamo culture and the San culture.
You might have changed it.
And then we could choose the third culture to compare it to. So I chose Western society in general.
So with us, what it was is you had to choose your culture and then choose any two others.
Okay.
So he might have changed it because I know for his normal anthropology class, he does it like that.
Right.
So he might have just made that the thing since it was online, you know?
Man, now,
so
you know what? Now I don't know if it was honors. Now that
nah, you were in. No, you were. Yeah. I mean, he's a great professor, Kinden.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
That class was pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal class.
Yeah, anthropology was like by far one of the most interesting subjects I've done so far.
Well, because there's a chapter that we did on like witchcraft, religion, that type of stuff.
That was one of the only chapters I read.
Yeah, but that is such an insane chapter because the idea of like magic, is like what he was talking about is there's like 4 different sorts of like religions. You have like monotheistic, polytheistic, mana, and then magic. Well, not really religion, but you know what I mean. Right. Like in anthropology, at least from what I can remember.
Yeah, in like
and
anthropological terms.
Exactly. Right. And so with magic, essentially, what it is like you believing that something that you do causes an actual effect in the universe. So it's like if you go under you stopped at a red light, right? And I'll like flash my high beams,
Okay.
And so
to try to get it to turn?
Because I believe because it's happened before where I flash my high beam, instantly goes, and I can keep driving.
Right.
So
could be coincidence. Right.
It is coincidence.
Right, because that's not real.
But in my head, that is like I'm causing an effect. Now I'm doing it subconsciously. So it's like when I see the red, I like flash the headlight, even though I don't think about it. So that's essentially.
It's not real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't actually work.
Well, I also have a switch that turns all the lights green, but that's besides the point.
Well, but the high beams don't.
Yeah, but the high beams don't.
Man, that would be a good switch.
I know, right? I think there was something about them selling those.
No.
You don't think?
No. Bro.
Yo, it's all online. You could hack into we shouldn't be talking about that.
Yeah, let's talk about this off the air.
Yeah, right. Let's search up these switches off the air. But yeah, so that's one thing with the with magic is essentially that, which is such a wild thing to think about because it's essentially admitting like, I suppose like magic is real in a way, but it's just us tricking ourselves into thinking it's real, you know?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Yeah.
I mean, we've been playing some blackjack with Sean and Jared recently.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Some online blackjack.
Yeah.
And I should say, I've spent like $20. I'm not out here trying to blow my money on blackjack. I don't think it's a good idea. But like it's when we'll start getting like a winning streak, and I've noticed that like the boys will like really get into it, and like I kind of like I look at it with like a grain of salt because I'm just like this is all when we win I'm like okay we're just lucky bro just like this is how it goes, people win and then they lose and shit, and but they'll be like yo we just had 3 wins in a row like we're doing it right, there's something going on, and then like if the dealer pulls like 2 bad hands in a row he'll be like yo, something's going on. There's something not right.
That's
like, no, bro. Like, that's just how it goes. Like
exactly, because that's what I think. I actually sat in. I think they played another hand, like him and Jared played.
Yeah.
And I was watching them play. And I mean, it was fun, like watching it, like seeing it, especially when it wasn't my money.
Right.
And
that's even more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then, but I was watching them do it, and I noticed that but even I was like, how are they, because they went on streaks and like good streaks too.
Yeah, no, they're good.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, in my head, I'm like, surely you're just flipping cards, like it's pure luck.
In blackjack, like you're still making decisions, so you're asking
that is
if
true.
You want to hit, you're
it's
asking
risk
if you're going to split and stuff. So yeah, it's exactly, it's just risk risk.
Well, that's what I see with poker, right? Because I enjoy playing poker. Right. Exactly, but with that.
Well, with that, there's bluffing.
Exactly. So it's a lot. It's deception, even though I can never bluff Justin for some reason. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know how that man does
it. Pretty well.
I think he has like some mirror behind us or some shit. Like I don't understand how he does this.
He just gets lucky with his cards, though.
But that's the thing. It's luck. But it's like, how do you get that lucky, right? Same with the blackjack online and stuff. Like, yeah.
I feel like when we play poker, there's never a moment. The reason I don't bluff. And it's kind of disappointing.
I didn't bluff last game.
No, I didn't bluff at all last game.
Except for the one I lost all my money on.
Right. Man, you were goofing.
Dude, I had a 10 high, I think it was, or some shit.
You went in like...
And then I put $3 in. We play $5 poker. So I put $3 in on like, the fifth hand? And I lost it all. Right. Like, everyone backed out except for Justin. And, like, you could tell he was hesitating about it, but he's like, he just looked at me and he was like, he put the money in. And so I'm like, this guy knows too much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, I don't bluff with those guys because they always follow. Like, there's
True.
Like, I literally don't think one time in our last game, someone bluffed and, like, or even if they didn't bluff, someone got to the end with everybody folding.
Successfully bluffing, yeah.
But even if we're not bluffing, like there's always one person that follows the other person to the end.
We also played. We played with 6 people, I think, 6 or 7. So 6 because that's just the normal.
That's true. It's a lot of people.
So it's something. I think that's a good amount of people to play with, but I always feel like you're gonna have. Because I basically handed Justin that game because once he had like $3 of it. You should not have went all in. When you went all in, I was like, Khalil. But I had a good hand that time because I had a straight.
But he had a better
But
hand.
he had like I think I had a straight up to 10 and then he had a straight up to Jack. So he like barely beat me. And to be fair, I only had like 70 cents to my name at that point. But but that was just.
Well, I also think that's what happens when you gamble with like $5 each. Is that like you don't really care enough.
It's fun,
It's fun, but like what I'm saying is, I think it'd be easier to bluff and get people to fold if we were playing like $50 each or like $100.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not saying we should do that.
No, let's do it. I'll take it serious.
It's a whole different vibe. But like,
yeah. Well, because
if you got $50, you're like, man, I don't know if I want to follow this guy.
Exactly.
Like,
and well, the other thing to be worried about too, if we did something like that, is people taking it too far. So, like, let's say we did no limits, right? So, someone could buy $80 of chips or something, and someone else could buy $20 of chips, right?
Right.
Then you got $100 in the pot just from like 2 people, you know, or like something like if we did like $50 each, even that's like $300 in the pot.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
No, I'm not trying to do that with the homies.
Exactly.
And then someone
it tunes too far. Yeah.
No.
And I mean, I would definitely.
To be honest, from religion, I don't know how we got to gambling.
You know what? It's a. It's a segue. It's a segue.
Well, we were talking about like just believing in like the universe and things happening.
Yeah, and magic.
Yeah, magic. Yeah.
But that's what's wild about. But there's the other part is mana, right? Which
I forget what that is.
It's so apparently it's like only really a thing in New Zealand, but I actually find it fascinating. I could be butchering the definition here.
They talk about it in Hawaii too.
They might. I know. They might. But yeah. So, but his example was New Zealand at least. But it might have been in Hawaii. Well, this is what it is.
Okay.
So it's essentially like you, Greg.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's explain it this way. So mana is surrounding us. It's like the Force, right? It's surrounding. Okay. No, it is. It is. Whereas like it's surrounding us. It's everywhere. It's there. You know. And then you, as Greg, can collect this mana by like good deeds and actions and these type of things, or even by like being powerful within your group, and like that's how you rise to the top, is through this mana, right? And again, I could be butchering what it is, but this is what I remember it as. And so that's what's interesting to me because it's different than magic because magic is you doing something to the universe. In this instance, it's the universe doing something to you essentially, whereas like it's giving you this power. But yeah, so that's basically what it is, which I have never heard of a concept of that before besides Star Wars.
Right, besides Star Wars.
But I can only imagine that Star Wars got it from this culture, this like indigenous culture in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, that's
like because it's very similar to like midichlorians and all that. But what do you actually think about? It's a very conflicted, but I have my own personal opinions. But of the Star Wars prequels, What do you think about those?
The prequels, you mean like 1, 2, 3?
The 90s, yeah, the 90s movies.
Oh, okay.
With Anakin Skywalker and like...
Right, but
yeah.
are you talking about 4, 5, 6? Which came out before 1, 2, 3?
I'm talking about 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay. But I'm talking about 1, 2, 3. So you're talking about
the more recent ones, kind of?
Not the sequel. There's too many now.
So but in order, like, not in order of how they came out, like in order of how they're considered?
Yes.
Are you talking about the one where Anakin's young?
Yes.
Oh, I kind of like those, man.
I do too.
Because I grew up watching them, but people shit on those.
I know.
People say those are bad, and
honestly,
4, 5, 6 is better. I don't like 4, 5, 6.
I like 5. I like 5 where they're on the, like... I don't like the beginning of... it's alright, where they're on the, like, ice planet.
They fight with 2 hands.
It's so whack, bro. That's not... that's not how... I mean, they're using a form of... I don't know about there, but, like, in it, they use a form of Eskrima, which is a Filipino martial arts, which I've taken classes on. Okay. But it's, like... Even in those classes, like, you fight with, like, one hand. When you're fighting with sticks, you fight with one hand, so I have no idea what they were doing there. Like, it's just weird to me.
I mean, it's like watching...
Anyway, but that's fighting
It's like
styles.
watching, like, knights, you know, like, with big swords.
Actually,
but
exactly.
It's like, it just seems like... It's kind of like the old Batman movies where, like, he could barely move his... Not even the old ones. There was one of the recent Batmans that I watched a couple years ago, and he looked, like, super, like not mobile.
Like, just tight in that.
And, like, he couldn't move his arms well, and he couldn't punch, and it just looked goofy, man. I think it was one of the Dark Knight movies, but that doesn't sound right.
Because I'm remembering those movies.
I think it's the one with Bane. The one with
Bane. It might be.
The one with Bane, I thought was whack.
What is that? The Dark Knight Returns, I think? Something like that? Yeah. But yeah. It actually might be that one.
Man, I mean, there was good parts to that movie. Actually, now that I think about it, the football scene.
I've never watched Batman Begins. I didn't realize that was the first movie of that trilogy.
Oh, bro, you gotta watch Batman.
I tried watching it at work, and then we got busy.
Right.
But tried to stream it on the TV. At home, well, yeah, true. I have a TV right there. But yeah,
that's a good movie.
Yeah, I have too many movies on my watch list and shows. Like Invincible. Sean's been recommending that. Aiden's been recommending that. Have you not heard of this?
No.
Okay. So Invincible is, I've never watched it, but what it sounds like is like an animated superhero, like 8-episode season.
Okay, no, he's talking to me. He's told
Yeah, because this is on Amazon Prime, I think, and I want to give Jeff Bezos my money. So
right. Man, you shouldn't. You shouldn't, bro. Come on. Man.
But yeah, so
no, I still be ordering.
I know. Dude, I got these from Amazon. Like,
of course, of course, these little
microphones. Which is a problem because it's wild because Amazon, and you took economics with me, so like you know about this, but it's Amazon. Right. Well, you know, that's what happens.
I hope Professor Cardavani's not gonna listen.
I know, right? But I mean, you passed nonetheless anyway. It's not that big of a Anyway.
No, I'll be good.
Yeah, but it's the different types of like mergers, like where you have like vertical, horizontal, and then I think it's like conglomerate or something. I don't know. Yeah. But Amazon is so wild because it literally controls like
all of them. Right.
They own Whole Foods. They own Twitch. I'm pretty sure they own like all these different things, and obviously Amazon, their core company. And what's interesting about Amazon? It's something like, or it used to be this way. It's like 80% of their revenue comes from their cloud services, so Amazon Cloud, which is essentially storage for websites.
Right.
So I found that out where it's like, before they were profitable, I think, or maybe it's still the same way, because they only became profitable in like 2017. That company was technically
Amazon?
like, yeah. It's like, that company was technically headed bankrupt, like...
I mean, I don't understand how that happens, because it seems to be the case with all these I know.
Like Spotify's technically also
right.
Not
Spotify's
profitable.
Fucked. Netflix isn't profitable.
Yeah.
And Netflix is billions of dollars in debt. Uber, everybody's like, for years people have been saying Uber's not profitable. Nobody's making money off Uber.
Meanwhile,
it's kind of like I mean, but they're balling though. It looks like they're balling.
They are, because because it's all a tax trick, right? Where it's like, technically these companies aren't profitable because they give all their money to the board, to the CEOs, or they go and start. That's why Amazon is okay with losing money. That's why Amazon's okay with like undercutting a lot of these. So like, let's say I go and I put this mouse on Amazon, I start selling these mouses, and like Khalil's mouse company, right? I sell them for $10. What Amazon will do is like, oh shit, this is selling. we're going to make the same mouses and sell them for $7.
Right.
And then I'm a small business. I can't compete with that. So then they wipe me out, or I'm forced to sell them.
And they lose money for like 10 years, wiping you out.
Yeah.
And bro, I remember I heard
because they're willing to do it.
They did this to a diaper company.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah. It's wild.
They did that for like they just came in, copied a really successful diaper company, made the same product for like $30 less.
Yep.
And lost money for 5 years
because they don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's
fine.
fine.
The competition was just gone.
Because
then they upped the price.
Yeah, because it's like the tax system allows them to do that, and then they don't have to pay taxes because technically they're not profitable.
Bro, that is so whack, man. The fact that Amazon, Apple, and Facebook and all those companies, there's an abbreviation in France for those companies. It's like
really?
It's like FA, like it's like Facebook, Apple, Amazon. I forget, but like all the big companies.
That's wild that there's an actual abbreviation for that.
It's an acronym. Yeah.
Oh, an acronym. Well, okay. So it's like a word. It's a word, but it like spells out the thing.
Oh yeah, acronym.
Acronym,
right.
yeah.
Because abbreviation is a shorter.
Yeah.
So it's an acronym, and they passed a law in France like I think 3 years ago that said, "Yo, I may be wrong about this, but
it doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they passed a law that said like from now on, you know, all these companies have to pay the same amount of taxes as everyone else. Yeah. And you got to pay back all the taxes you should have paid for all these years.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. So that's an actual...
I think Amazon had to pay for, like, the French government, like, hundreds of millions, if not billions.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what the European Union is also doing.
They're one of the most, like, successful companies in the country.
Well, that's when you see 2020, like, one of the most devastating years for, like, normal people, which I'm just preaching to the choir at this point, but it's like these big companies, like, and not even the companies, but the people running them is like you see Elon Musk shoot up to like like the second richest man, like the first for a little bit, then to the second. Yeah. You see Jeff Bezos, he's still like number one. Warren Buffett, all these guys, and they really didn't pay tax, like personal income tax to the federal level. They really didn't pay that much, like compared to how much they made, right? Or it's like they made billions of dollars. I know, right? Yeah, well, Switzerland, they have some in Ireland, like, you know, these areas where it's like lower tax brackets.
Like, there's also a bunch of like the Cayman Islands and stuff.
Yeah. But because it's kind of wild, right? Where it's like Jeff Bezos, who used to sell books. Amazon used to be a bookstore. It used to be an online bookstore. It's like Jeff Bezos. This, like, if you ever seen a photo of him, he looks like a twerpy guy. Like, just around here, chilling, selling books, doing his thing, and all of a sudden now, he's going to space. He's going to space. Yeah, exactly. He's going to space to make a laser. Yeah, like, this guy is just insane. Where he looks like Lex Luthor, you know? He kind of looks like...
let's pull up a picture.
Wait, hold on.
I don't know if I'm thinking of the right guy.
I mean, to be fair...
Is that the guy with the mask? Lex Luthor?
No. I'll search it up, but yeah. Anyway,
isn't he like a serial killer?
No, he's this guy. He's a DC.
Okay. Oh, right.
I think he's Superman's villain.
Right. No. Because that's Oh, that might be right. I don't know.
I don't know, but anyway, like,
I'm not
look.
gonna pretend to know anything about DC.
Yeah, but I mean, there's Jesse Eisenberg, but yeah, like it's. I mean, he looks like him. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, you're right.
Where, like, I don't know.
And he's jacked.
I know. Well, that's why when you look at photos from, I mean, obviously anyone can change in 20 years, but you look at photos of him in the 90s, he's like losing his hair, he's all like small and shit, like, and now, hey, he's billions of dollars.
I mean, bro, he's got
that we know about.
Yeah, it's funny he didn't even get hair implants. He just shaved that shit out.
But he looks clean though. That's the thing.
Yeah, he looks
like
good.
Because this is what I so I work at Men's Warehouse, right?
Right. That's true.
And Failing Company, shameless plug.
Really? Failing Company?
They filed for bankruptcy and after COVID. To be fair, it's COVID it hit retail.
True.
But okay. To their credit, they are trying.
Right.
Because they are still like a very big company. They used to be, I don't know about it anymore, they used to be the biggest men's retailer in North America.
Okay.
The way they got that way was buying a company that then resulted in them having so much debt that they could not do anything. But, you know.
Wait, what was that? What do you mean?
Okay, so they bought Joseph A. Banks, they bought this company, I think, in 2013. And they bought it for $550 million. Which was considered a steal,
right?
Because now it allows them to advertise themselves as the the biggest men's retailer in North America, essentially. Okay. Once they bought this company, so they outperformed Macy's, they outperformed like Nordstrom, all these areas in men's clothing. Yeah, Tailored Brands is what they called it, which is like the parent company. Okay. After Men's Warehouse bought Joseph A. Banks, but so this move essentially allowed them to say that. But it was basically like the only reason this move was a thing is because Joseph A. Banks actually went on record saying that they were actually going to buy Men's Warehouse as a way to ploy, like to be like, oh, we're going to buy you, you're not going to buy us, like that type of thing.
Oh, so they hadn't bought them yet?
No, not yet. Okay. Yeah. This story's a little weird, but it's just like,
what the hell?
It's such a wild thing because. So I had invested in Men's Warehouse before this, and so I got to see their financial statements, which this is all public info, so it's not like I'm saying anything, but they had actually been paying off their debt very handedly, like for the past 2 years. Like, so they were only down to, they didn't buy it for $550 billion. They bought it for $550 million. I think I messed up that. Because their debt was $1.1 billion in 2020, Christ. But when you think about it, right? So yeah, that's a lot of money.
Right.
But for a company to just be like, technically, we didn't profit. All our money went to paying off our loans. So yeah. So like that's how it's like they were able to stay afloat, and that's how they're like their board of directors and all that gets paid hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. Anyway, that's besides the point, but. It's similar to be fair, what Amazon does, because whatever excess money they have, I guarantee you they're using that and going and buying other things, like Whole Foods, like these areas, right? They're just buying these, or like expanding.
I don't know what Amazon has. I can't even think of it top of my head, but they have
the only two things I know, but I know they have.
No, they have Hulu.
No, Disney has Hulu.
Oh,
Disney.
Really?
Disney owns Hulu. And they made Disney Plus after that. So they bought Hulu.
Do you hear about 5 years ago? I'm not even joking. You hear about
I know. It's a thing.
And bro, Paramount Plus, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, y'all are out of ideas.
Too many pluses, bro.
It's just like the androids making a notch. It's like, what? Like, it's so blatant. Like, it's just insulting, bro.
It's just kind of... that's
and
the thing,
they got the rights to the Champions League.
Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus got the rights to the Champions League this year, which is great. Bro, the first year, they show up, they're like, hey... Champions League is going to be streaming exclusively on.
But that's how they do it, because now everyone's in this mentality of like Jeff Bezos mentality, Amazon mentality, where it's like,
shit. I got a subscription, bro. I was trying to watch the Champions League.
Yeah. I don't watch it that much, so it's like I don't have a subscription. Yeah. But it's just one of those things where I did see stuff on Paramount Plus when they were advertising it that I'm like, that would actually be kind of cool to watch. Like it might get me to. I don't want to, because I'm like, what's the point of having all these streaming services, right? Because then I might as well just buy a cable package, right?
That's true.
But then, to be fair, you can't stream the stuff. Like, you have to wait.
You know what? I like Apple TV.
I have an Apple TV.
You low-key got to rent the movies or buy them. But it's like, I think like, well, you know what? Maybe not. I was about to say it might be cheaper than like watching movies on all these streaming services.
I don't think it's cheaper, but it's... I like their layout. A lot more.
And it's just like, it's every movie. Just everything is there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
and also
about contracts or whatever the fuck.
Exactly. Because also if you have the little like device that it gives you, the little black, I have it back there actually. It's right. It's that like black device. Yeah, exactly. So if you have that, and you plug it in, I can stream Hulu from there, and honestly, it's a much better layout than the actual Hulu layout. Like my TV's on Apple TV. Exactly. Yeah. Like you can do all these systems off of Apple TV. Yeah. And I don't know. I just think...
still need the subscription and stuff, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously.
No, but the layout is better. That's right.
Yeah, which, they know what they're doing, which is, I guess, why they're a $1 trillion company. But it's like, Apple's a wild story. Yeah, Apple. Apple's a wild story, though. But yeah, how do
you think you came up with that logo, man?
What logo? The Apple?
Yeah, the Apple with the...
Have you ever watched the movie Jobs?
No. I've seen Jaws.
Same movie.
This is the one with Ashton Kutcher, right?
Yeah.
There's two.
I think so.
There was one with Ashton Kutcher.
I actually own this movie on Apple, so
that seems appropriate.
Yeah, it really does. But yeah, it's a good movie. I watched this a lot in Jordan actually. When I was in there.
Who's that?
Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, that one there.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, so Jobs. So there's a scene in that where they're like just driving and they're like, okay, we need a name for this company before we go and present it at this thing, right? And Ashton Kutcher, Steve Jobs, is like, let's think of something. It needs to be snappy. What does everyone want? And I want it to be like, top of the phone, or not top, but he wants it to be above a lot of these companies like Atari and all that. Like he wants it to be on top. Which again, this could be a totally fictional telling of this.
I feel like it is,
but it's kind of cool because he's just like thinking about it, right? And it's something where it's like
he just comes to him. Apple.
But he's imagine. No, he has a banana. He takes a bite out of a banana. He's like apple. But apple. It just comes to him, I guess, and he's like, oh, apple. It's like it's the first man's fruit. It's the origin, that type of thing. Like we earned in
Adam and Eve. And
exactly,
shit. Okay.
Exactly like we learned in art, where it's like, apples have so many symbols and
bro.
history, meanings, and all that. Not as much as oranges, but whatever.
Oranges represent fertility.
Yep, it's great.
If anybody's listening and is taking
anyone taking
just know if there's oranges, it means fertility.
Yep. But that's how I think it. I think it's not a bad idea of how it originated. I'm sure they kind of just like were eating fruit one day and just were like, fuck it. Like,
yeah. Or maybe like because I feel like Apple is such a when you think Apple today, you just think like the most successful computer company. But like when you like,
I don't think of the fruit when I think of Apple. To be fair, I think of the company.
Yeah, I think of especially if someone is talking about a laptop.
True context.
But it's just like without the context, like without it being so successful, if someone approached you and was like, "Hey man, I'm making a computer company. It's gonna be called Apple." Like that's like me being like, I'm gonna make one that's gonna be called Blueberry, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing.
To be fair, it sounds insane. Like it sounds insane. Like I'm just gonna call it Apple.
I think it's better than like Atari. Like,
it stands out.
What kind of name is Atari?
I don't even know what Atari means except for like the actual like console. Like I don't know.
I have no idea what it means.
To be fair, like I know what Atari is.
It sounds
like,
Asian. Is it? Where's Atari from? It sounds Japanese or some shit.
It might be like. It might be. It might actually be Asian.
That sounds Japanese, but I'm not sure.
It might be. Nintendo though.
Well, Nintendo's Japanese.
Nintendo is Japanese, but they're.
Let's see. You ever played on an Atari?
No, I have not.
You ever played on like a Nintendo 64?
No.
Really?
The first console.
64 growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty great. We had this Mario game where you would jump through paintings. So like you'd walk around this big castle, and there'd be a bunch of paintings on the walls. And like there's a lot to do in the castle, and you could do missions and stuff. But then you could also just jump into a painting, and it would take you to like that world. You just jump inside the painting, and you could start moving. It was pretty dope.
I feel like did they recreate this with like
yeah,
because I've like seen something like
this. I had an emulator on my phone. I had a Nintendo 64 emulator that turned my phone into a Nintendo 64. And I played this game on my phone.
That's pretty wild because actually, so I used to play Pokemon as a kid. It was like the first game I ever owned was like a DS Lite, Pokemon, the Blue Dungeon. I always
wanted a DS, bro.
Did you never? Oh man, this thing was addictive.
Right.
Like
I bet, bro.
Yeah, no, it was a great game. Like I played it through. I'm like, oh my gosh, like little Pikachu running around and shit. Like, but it's, but yeah, no. And then I saw in high school though, so it was a while ago, or 4 years ago, I guess. But 4 years ago when I saw it, so sophomore year. Anyway, people playing the game on their phone, like just like on their phone on a website playing the game. I was like, how did you do that? Like I'm gonna play on my phone. What?
Yeah.
If I could go back and but
there's emulators for pretty much everything.
That's pretty cool though. I didn't realize that. But Atari, I don't know if this is true. It says Sunnyvale, California. It says here.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So
it doesn't surprise me.
It says American theme, but that's why, because it does sound. I thought Korean at first, because Korea also has South Korea has a and there's two different Korea. Right, so South Korea has a very strong like chip manufacturing.
Well, when we're talking about like
when I say Korea,
I don't think North Korea is making a lot of computers.
No, biggest export of.
Oh yeah.
They make all the apples in computer in North Korea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true facts.
It's true.
But that's my first console though was a PS2.
Okay.
And I used to play NBA on it, NBA 2K.
2K?
Yeah.
Man, I never liked 2K.
Really?
I'm just a big FIFA guy.
Okay, that's fair. I would go and sit in the Microsoft store playing FIFA because I didn't want to spend the $60 to buy it.
It's expensive as hell.
Yeah,
it's a good game though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've grown up playing FIFA.
I wanted to get the. Did you say it's still bad?
I'm still bad.
Oh, I thought you said the game's still bad.
No, it's one of the best. It's one of the best games on console, but I'm not great.
What is offsides? Like when.
Okay, so for sure. So let's go into it, bro. Let's talk soccer. So offsides is basically it's a rule that says that if you're attacking, or not even if you're attacking, you can't pass the ball to a player that is behind what we call the line of defense. So the line of defense is, and I think offsides is like in a lot of sports. I'm pretty sure like water polo, like most ball sports have that.
Yeah.
Where like the line of defense is where the closest defenders to the goal are. So if you know what I'm saying? So would
that count the goalie?
No, it doesn't count.
Okay, it doesn't count.
So just how do you call them defenders? What do you call
defenders. Them? Yeah. I know there's like actual names for this people,
right.
But like,
well, like the right wings. Or
exactly, like center back. Right back.
And so like they really know about it. They're all really professional, so they kind of like always try to stay on the same line. So and it's like a technique that defenders use. It's a strategy that a coach will be like, hey, play them offside, and so they look for the guy that has the ball, and they wait for him to like look like he's about to pass to his friend, and then they all rush like literally away from the goal.
What in the world?
It's a really cool technique. Everybody rushes away from the goal to play the guy offsides. That way when the ball, and how it works is it's as soon as the person kicks the ball. So when they play back in slow motion, they'll play it in slow-mo until his foot hits the ball, then they stop it, and they check out if the guy's offsides or not. Yeah, and now there's VAR, so it's all regulated.
So I was gonna say, like, imagine doing that back in like the 50s or some shit. Like,
there's linesmen, so there's people.
Oh, so there's people actually like staring down.
Bro, if you watch soccer, there's people in yellow running up and down.
Those guys have great cardio.
Oh my god!
Actually, I've seen that in basketball.
It's impressive.
They do it in basketball too.
Yeah, I don't know if there's offsides in basketball. I don't think there's offsides.
There's not, but I guess not linemen, but the refs in basketball have to keep running back and forth.
Right.
I guess there's a lot more refs in, but anyway,
Yeah, so you got the ref in soccer, and then you'll have the linesman, and they're checking. I'm like making up these words. I think it's called linesman.
I think you're right.
And yeah, they literally follow. Their job is to follow the line of defense along the out of bounds line. So they'll just and they're just staring, looking, and they're just trained. So they're trained to like look for the moment that
they know exactly what to look for.
Yeah, they know what to do.
Okay, shit.
It's
because that's something I was watching FIFA. I was watching FIFA videos, and that. The dude was complaining about offsides, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, because I thought it was like when you got behind the goalie, and that counts as it. But this makes a lot more sense because I'm like, well, so the other
it's a rule. The point of the rule is to avoid camping. It's to avoid people. It's to avoid someone just like going right in front of goal and just waiting for a pass.
That's
It
fair.
just makes it harder.
Yeah, that's actually a really good rule to have then. Yeah, because that's one thing in like. You would like in whenever do like PE soccer, PE football or something. You just have someone down there.
Yeah, because you're not gonna have a linesman in
exactly
8th grade PE.
Yeah.
No, it takes like to do it like well and to do it, and you think like for high school games and shit, there'll be a linesman, but like it's one linesman. And, like, he could get it wrong. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't call an offside, like it could lead to a goal. And
because that can change a whole game. Because soccer's not a game where you have like 100 points. 100 goals. Like
a couple goals. Goals are big in soccer.
Yep. Yeah. That's actually what I kind of like about soccer a lot more. Where it's like when you make a goal, it counts
it's
as
a big
something.
Moment.
Because like to be fair, in like the playoffs for the NBA, like maybe they're like 1 point away, 3 points away. Like one goal away, basically. Yeah. But it doesn't feel like because they've made 100 points. They've scored 100 points.
I think
it's crazy.
It's not that exciing to me.
No, because they're running up and down.
I've been playing a lot of basketball recently. Actually,
basketball's a great game.
It's very fun to play, and also it's also a good sport to watch. But I feel the same way you do. I feel like it's like they're just running back and forth scoring, and they kind of always score, bro. Like low key at the NBA level, sometimes someone will get blocked and it's cool.
No, I was thinking of like this man. I think it was Lillard went and like shot threes. like 3 times in a row and missed each one. But if he had made those shots, yeah, exactly. It's like he made those shots, he won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like he didn't. But
it's really close. In basketball.
But it doesn't. The tension's there, but it doesn't feel like the shots actually matter.
Right.
Because usually what happens, like, okay, I scored a 3, I scored a layup or something, and someone takes it, they score another layup on the other side. So whoever really starts off with the ball, who made that first layup, it really has a big advantage.
It is, yeah. Right.
That's where the tip-off matters, where it's like...
Yeah.
But yeah, in 5th grade, what we would do, I went to Capri Elementary School.
No, right.
And well, I guess...
I don't even know.
Were you here for 5th grade?
I moved here for 5th grade.
For 5th grade, okay.
So my first year here was 5th grade.
Yeah, so... but yeah, Capri is back over there near Village. You probably don't know what Village is if you don't know what Capri is. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. But we had basketball courts.
Right.
And every day at lunch for like all of 5th grade, me and like a group of people would like, we'd do 5-on-5 and go play basketball every day at lunch. And that's I mean, now I suck. But
that's pretty
yeah.
Cool.
But it's, like I got really good at defending.
Yeah.
Because I would just go and like block people or just hit the ball.
So
we did not play with rules. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like it's easier than shooting. So it's like if you, let's say, not tackled, but you know, got a bit aggressive, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, it's like no one ever punched each other. You know, there was never a fight between like Capri like kids. But
I feel like in general, there's some sports that people fight more, like hockey.
Hockey.
Right, hockey. I've never seen a hockey game.
Yeah, I went and watched the Sharks game versus Barracuda like two years
Sharks.
ago.
I've lived here for 10 years.
Yeah.
We got the Sharks, and I've never been to a hockey game.
Really?
It's pretty. I don't know why.
To be fair, like I remember watching it, and like the first, because I think they split into trimesters. So it's like the first third of it, I was like, "What am I watching?" Like it was
it's
interesting,
so fast,
but
bro. I can't even see
exactly
the
where it was like I was kind of just like lost, I guess. Because I don't watch hockey that much anyway, like on TV or stuff. It was cool seeing it. Because then at like the second and third like trimesters, I guess, like it was actually really like they were going at it. But I feel like a lot of time you're going to a hockey game to see people fight, which is like just go to a boxing arena,
right?
Go fight Jake Paul, like it's fine. But
probably make more fucking money than hockey.
Jeez, yeah,
fighting Jake Paul.
Bro.
I heard he accepted a fight from a real like pretty not a boxer but it's a UFC,
ain't it? He's a UFC fighter.
Yeah, so it's another boxing match.
But he's an actual fighter, from what I heard.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Askren was an actual fighter, but he was like.
But he was 44, wasn't he? Like he just had hip surgery and shit.
Yeah, he was. But also like the thing about Ben Askren, and I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't because I know nothing about UFC. But it's just what I've heard. That Ben Askren was always he was like a world champion of UFC.
Yeah, his name was very
Yeah. He just tainted that name.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I don't think Jake Paul would. Why would Jake Paul go and be like, you know what? I'm gonna give my standing to sell all these tickets without anyone else backing. Because like, why would he go and fight like a amateur UFC fighter that probably can't sell tickets? Ben Askren.
But what I'm saying is like, he picked Ben Askren because Ben Askren was always known for being a shitty striker. And this is a boxing.
I see what you're talking about.
So he can't do anything. All he can do is strike.
Because maybe he would only use his feet or some shit in like UFC.
Well, he was a pro wrestler, so he was. From what I understand, he would like just get homies on the ground and wrestle the shit out of them in the tap. But the man, I saw videos of him trying to punch in the UFC. It's laughable. Like it's laughable, bro. I mean, bro, he's a pro fighter. Like I'm not, obviously I'm like
I don't want to
sitting
fight him.
here like he's laughable.
No, but to be fair, he does not
look like a good striker.
Yeah, he's actually doing something that. Like this is my argument for why like I can say like I remember posting like saying like I think it was an NFL game and I was like, how did they miss that? Like how did they miss that, right? And someone was like, do you think you could do it? And I'm like, I don't get paid millions of dollars to do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so it's the same with
bro, when I see Neymar miss a penalty, I'm like, dog, you got $222 million to pay for Paris. How about you score that penalty, bro?
It's like, please score.
It's ridiculous.
But it's but that's going back to Jake Paul, like that's with
my favorite subject.
I know, right? The best subject the whole day.
There's a lot to talk about.
But he's an interesting guy. Like he's
I don't
seems kind of sociopathic, but he's an interesting guy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, he knows what he's doing.
He's very. You can't say he's financially dumb.
No, not at all. And I'm sure he probably has like a good like manager or something that like also watches him. Like,
I don't know, bro.
Do you
he
not
does
think
a lot of dumb shit. I feel like he does and says too much dumb. I mean, I'm sure he has a manager. He's so rich, he must have a manager.
Yeah.
He doesn't he doesn't answer emails. You know, like,
probably.
He definitely has a manager.
If you need an assistant, Jake Paul, let me know.
Right.
But
if you need an assistant, Jake Paul, do not let me know. I'm not trying to work for your dumbass.
To be fair, I'd probably get lit on fire or something. Like,
yeah, bro.
Like,
oh my god. Bro.
But
can you imagine living in that Team 10 house, bro?
I don't want to imagine that. I
do
not want to imagine that seems. Those creator houses are kind of wild. Like, I understand that you're pushing out content, but it's like it just seems like an awful environment to work in. Even if you all like each other, because then you're probably not like you're just pushing out content. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're just like, we're gonna get together and like.
It's good to have a group of people that you would film with, but it's like.
But a lot of times their content is like, not like I'm not trying. I don't like hating on things too much. But like, man, a lot of vlogs, I'm just like. I can tell that they're like looking for content, you know.
Yeah.
Especially like people that vlog every day.
Yeah.
It's like how because nobody's life is that interesting, bro. You gotta be forcing it.
Who's gonna be interested in? I mean, people might be, but they don't think that someone's gonna be interested in watching like 4 minutes of them just driving down the freeway or something, or like 4 minutes of them picking up their kid.
True.
You know?
True.
Like,
but I feel like they do dumb shit. You know, they'll do all these challenges. They'd be like, who can fit the most balloons in their mouth? Like.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, like, unsubscribe.
Yeah. No, I don't subscribe to that many people, actually. Like.
Nah, not anymore.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
I never comment or, like videos, really. I think the only video I've liked was, like, a video from PewDiePie, like, back in the day.
When I find, like, something that I'm, like, sometimes you find videos where you're just, like, really impressed.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
And you're just, like,
I'll subscribe to them. I'll subscribe.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I'll leave a like for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like,
I don't know that.
You know, like some you'll watch like this might not be a good example, but like a Vice documentary or something. Like I watched a Vice documentary on a codeine problem in like Nigeria or something like that.
Okay.
Where like everybody's addicted to codeine. Like, I forget. Yeah, it was cough syrup. It was codeine, and so you know, and I was just like, man, like I had no idea all this shit was happening. And that's like that's like a small problem that a lot of the African countries have, obviously.
Yeah.
Compared to the warlords and the famine. But yeah, everybody's like on codeine. It was just like the reporting was really good and the video was really dope. I like Vox a lot. You know, those videos like and I'll just be like, damn, I'm gonna leave a like.
There's a Vox series. I think it's canceled now. Is that
fucked up? To leave a like on a video about how everybody's addicted to codeine.
No, it might be. It might be.
Just like, oh, this is great.
Man, I'm so glad I fucking know this. That's why.
I mean, I'm glad to know it.
No, I am too. Like, well, this is the whole thing with this is 8th grade, but in 8th grade, our teacher like asked us a question on the essay, and the question was, like, is ignorance bliss? Like, is it better to know stuff and be depressed, sad, I guess, like, or is it better to not know anything and just go about your life like enjoying it? And I struggle with this question because like I enjoy learning about stuff. I enjoy I love stories. That's why I think anthropology was really interesting for me and why I'm doing poli-sci, because like I enjoy like that's why I'm like enjoy history too, where it's like it's all stories. Like, it's about, like, to be fair, there's more context and, like, actual, like, deeper meaning.
Well, anthropology is, like, applicable, too.
Exactly.
Anthropology, you're like, damn, like, this is why we do this. You know? We do rituals kind of like this.
Yeah, exactly. Or we do nothing like this, and it's kind of wild to see, like, a totally different side of it. Like, So it's, but yeah, it's exactly like what you were saying. But the,
Sorry, you were talking about history and just learn.
Oh, yeah, stories. Because, because I just think like stories, like people's stories, are very interesting.
For sure.
And and I feel like that's how you can really like learn information too, is from other people. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have teachers instead of just robots. Is because we learn from other people.
No, it's just that robots aren't good enough yet. So it's coming, bro.
You think?
No, I hope not. Not teachers.
I think this past year has been very...
Ooh, yeah. Shit.
I think... Because I was talking with a couple of my professors, who I will leave anonymous, but they were talking about how it's like they're very worried essentially about when the schools, when the administrations find out that they can just take these recorded lectures and use them without like they've already made a contract with the like anything that these professors make, I believe, is technically part of like the school. Like it's like when you work at Google, if you use Google facilities for stuff, that Google owns that product.
Oh wow! So you're saying the school could fire him and use their recording?
Yes, I believe so.
Wow.
So that's what, but I don't think that it would work.
Nah, bro. Nah, hell no. You need kids to be in class together.
Yeah.
And you need a human being there.
That's why,
it worked for a year, you know? And I mean, it worked for us.
I don't even think it really worked. It worked for me, to be fair. Like, I don't know if it worked for you, but I know, I've heard a lot of stories from people that it just doesn't.
Bro, a lot of kids, you know, I think I'm like a confident kid, so I'm just kind of like, I already have friends. I'm like, you know, I'll just go hang out with friends and shit. But it's like, if you're like a socially kind of awkward person, or you just happen to, you know, like, bro, think about the people that are new. Think about the amount of people that were transfer students that came to America or that came to anywhere. My mom has like friends that, you know, they have like daughters and sons that this was their first year in college. So they show up to college and everybody's quarantined in the room for a year. Yeah. It's like, how the fuck do you meet people, bro? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying I have a better solution and, you know, COVID's real, but... Yeah. But, in terms of teaching, I think we need humans. I don't think as a society we're going to make the choice to be like, all right, we don't need teachers. We can have robots do this. I feel like we generally agree that that's one of them jobs that we kind of need humans to do.
But isn't it... So, yeah, I agree with you. Because I think society, for now, tells us that, like, this is an essential job, right? And the only reason it was allowed to go online is because they could effectively do it online. You know, like, it was deemed that you could still do... And obviously the health risk, like, societal risk. Like, if you have a bunch of kids going to school... Sure, maybe the kids won't get it, but then if they pass it back to their parents, you know, shit like that. Yeah. So that was the whole argument against it. Which now that schools are...
They're like, you know, maybe we get 1 year of kind of shitty education, or a bunch of people die. You know, exactly. I think they made the right call. Bro.
I think they did too, given the circumstances. Right. It's, I'm glad stuff is going back in person.
Yes, sir.
I'm also, like, kind of worried, because for me, the transition from in-person to online was a very easy transition.
The other way around might not be so easy.
That's what I'm worried about, especially we're transferring. So it's like going from... Yeah. And I think West Valley has prepared me, or at least my poli-sci teachers, I think, have like actually given me like decently rigorous stuff. So like they prepared me well enough to go in. But we're going into upper division shit too, right?
Bro, so
it's like at a UC, so like Khalil. I know this is the past month of my existence, Greg. It's just constant shaking because like I'm like
no, I think we'll be fine.
I think we've both killed it to get where we are right now. That it's like
listen, bro. I'm not gonna lie though, like.
I'm nervous as shit,
done,
but
you know, I've done a little cheating here and there, and I've missed a lot of lectures, and I mean, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but I am a little bit worried that I'm going to get into my upper division classes and be like,
Well, you're going into economics, yeah?
Yeah.
So,
but I feel like economics always kind of made sense to me. Like when I take a quiz, like even if I didn't study, it's kind of like I feel like in the names of like if you're talking about like a law. I don't know if there's something you've noticed, but I've noticed that in economics, it's all kind of self-explanatory. In like the names.
No, 100%. That's that's why I love the professor that we had. I sometimes didn't really understand why he explained stuff like 5 times because I'm like, you're literally explaining what the name is.
He was just so nice that he really wanted to make sure that people got it. Yeah, that's what I think. I think he just kept repeating himself.
To be fair, it works. Like I understood the subject. Like economics is a fascinating subject.
It's pretty
got my AA in economics. I took both courses, but
you got what?
And the associate's degree.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, it's not. I had to take 2 courses, so.
Right.
But
just because you took micro macro.
Exactly.
So do I have one too?
Yeah, you should. But you have one for transfer. So so you still have an A. Like I have a poli-sci AAT, which is still an associate's degree, but it's for a transfer. Okay. So anyway, so what made you want to do economics then? Like.
Man, honestly, I had an economics class senior year with my boy Mr. Bale, that cool teacher, and I think the fact that he was such a cool teacher definitely participated in the fact that I mean, I thought it was really interesting too. Honestly, in general, I just really liked that class as a whole.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I don't like a whole lot of these classes that I've taken. You know, a lot of this shit is boring.
Like chem
or
like, bio and shit.
Man, bio, chem, you name it. Any of the science. I mean, it's not boring. Like, science is dope because science is like
it's
the
life.
reality of our world.
Yeah.
But it's just, honestly, it's too hard. Like, science, I'm like not trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn as much about science as I can, to the point where it's still pleasurable. You know, but I'm not trying to sit here and learn the table of elements.
Yeah.
And
memorize
be able to spit it out.
Organic
backwards.
chemistry, that type of stuff.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to do any of that. But economics was I was like, okay. Honestly, it was a quick decision. Not super studied. I was just kind of like, you know what? I like this one class.
It's a good major.
Yeah. And just like, you know, it opens up a lot of doors. And you can, with an economics major, you can pretty much, like, from my understanding, we'll see if life hits me in the face, but from my understanding, right, it's like you can pretty much move around in, like, business and you know.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to specialize in marketing. So
okay,
I know there's like a marketing. Usually people do business when they're going to do marketing.
Yeah.
But I know there's like an economics with an emphasis on marketing or some shit. So I'm trying to do that.
Yeah. Well, because I've heard about that in like the UC system too with economics. Because I think the UC system's kind of moving away from business and they're going just combining with economics.
I know about that.
Yeah. Well, I heard this from a counselor at West Valley. So to be fair, it could be wrong because they sometimes don't know what they're talking about. But
dude,
I had to find the honors counselor. I have had 2 good counselors. I think
but
the
like
honors
12.
Counselor. There's 20.
Yeah,
like there's
20
so many of them.
Yeah.
But I found out actually a lot of them are just like professors too that just do the counseling. And so they might not really know about it. Really know. The only good counselors I've had were like they were counselors. Like for the honors counselor, he's the one I usually turn to after. He's a professor of economics. Okay. It's Michael West is the honors counselor, which he's a great guy.
Right.
And then I found someone who's like legit a week before we graduated, I hit like just some random person up, and they were also very helpful. So they knew what they were doing. But yeah, it's it's kind of interesting because all of the why tuition is so high, for example, is because of the administrative costs, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't administrative costs as these counseling like departments and stuff. So that's why I'm like, surely you can get
good fucking
counselors that don't just want to keep me here for 5 years.
We don't really pay that much at West Valley, so
we don't.
But in general, in the system, yeah.
Yeah, because I've also heard bad things about just like UC counselors. Welcome back. Well, I guess we're back. But yeah,
we are officially back.
It's starting again. But yeah, so quick topic change as well. I did want to. So for you, those of you that don't know, Gregoire Gontier is a renowned musician. He's basically the next Jay-Z. Or Drake.
Wow, Jay-Z.
No. So I wanted to ask you.
I appreciate it.
I have a few things. So South Pacific came out a few months ago.
This is true.
Like I actually really, I would tell you if I didn't like the things that like I would not just boost your ego because it's already too high.
Right.
But
of course it is.
But I actually did really like the album. It's like it's one of the only albums actually that I like have like on my Spotify. Like I don't know if you've listened. Like it's legit right there. Like
yeah, damn, bro.
But I got shit like.
I appreciate you, man.
No, yeah, like it's right there with Off Season and No Pressure by Logic.
Wow,
so there you go.
Wow.
But yeah, so I really enjoyed the album. I did listen to your Coffee House Part 1 album, which I think I liked one of the songs, and I'm blanking on the song, but it's like. For the rest of them, I was kind of like, okay, like it's cool, and obviously I know you, so it was like wild to like, okay, that's pretty sick that you're making that. But this album, I think, obviously I don't know what you have coming or like what too much of what you've done because you did covers for a while. But it's this album is like sick, like it's an actual like level up.
Thanks, bro.
And I'm well, I want to see what's coming next, but I'm not going to ask you too much about that because I don't know if you want to keep that under wraps. But it's for when you're writing your music, I should say, at least for this last album, was it more you were trying to just make the music? Were you trying to convey something with your music? Like what were you trying to do?
I was just I thought it was I just thought it was time to make an album. be honest, because I actually remember, you know Noah, right?
Yeah, Sanders, yeah.
So
great man.
Yeah. So I remember talking to Noah at West Valley after we had a horror film class.
Yeah.
And I remember he was asking me about my music, and he was like, "You ever drop an album, bro?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm kind of waiting, like, to, I was like waiting to get signed or something." I'm like, I feel like that's such a big project. Like I can't do that alone,
Yeah.
And he was like, and he said he was just like super honest. He was like, I feel like when I see that an artist has like an album, that's when like I forget the words he used exactly, but he's something along the lines of like, that's when I know they're like an actual artist,
Yeah.
Like, cause they're like,
you're not just doing singles anymore.
Right. It shows you can put something together.
Smart.
And so I thought about that a lot after he said that, and I was like, damn, like he's right. If I had that would be pretty baller to have a list of something, at least like 5-6 songs,
And it's like you made that. Like that is something you did. You produced. You put it together. Like
exactly.
You did that.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, that's a great thing to even take to a company, like a record company or anything like that, a label, if you wanted to get signed, and just be like, I've already made this.
Yeah.
And it's performed. Like it's done well.
It's in my catalog.
Like, yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's and I mean, it's the other thing is like, I think it's fire. I think it's a great album.
It is.
And so it's like, if one day I one of my other projects were to like blow up or whatever, then that's there, and people might see that and fuck with it. And so but the goal really was to put something together that was like what's the word, cohesive.
Cohesive.
That was like, you listen to the songs and it kind of, you're listening to the same album, like with a similar vibe.
Yeah.
And some of them are different, obviously. I'm not gonna make the same song 8 times, but like there's, or even just I'll throw in some references to like the South Pacific or whatever. And man, it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work.
I can imagine, because it's like, it's to give you like when I heard it, I'm like, there's no way like, did he actually, like, because the beat, like everything about it, like it's professionally produced. It sounds like, it really sounds like that.
I appreciate
you. Like, but it's when I was listening to it, I'm like, I was actually gonna ask you this question, but it doesn't sound like it. I'm like, did you get signed? Like, did someone actually produce this for it? Like,
no, I produced the
because that's when I heard it, I'm like, this is actually like something.
So what I think, like, what changed the game for me was samples. So I love Kanye West.
Yeah.
I think I love Kanye West's music, I should say.
Yeah.
And, I think he's a funny guy, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. I know.
But Kanye West, like, really kind of, and people were using samples before Kanye West, because like Tupac was doing a lot of samples, Biggie, like all the basis of rap is like.
I listen to a lot of Biggie, and I'm like, I recognize these sounds.
They're all classic sounds. Mm-hmm. They're all like, classic songs from the 70s, the 80s that are just sampled, and then they put like they call it a boom bap beat. It's like boom, like it's kind of old school rap.
Yeah.
And they just put a beat over it, and then they'll just use that guitar lick or whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
But that sampling really killed the game for me, because it made me realize, like, I don't need to record everything that I do, like, because these sounds are available. I could go to Guitar Center, buy a $600 guitar, and then try to figure it out, or for this song, maybe I can find a sample of a guy who is 10 times better than me at the guitar and can just kill it.
Yeah.
And it's already recorded.
Yeah.
And so but obviously sampling it's not easy. Like, it's still, you got to take it, you got to sample it, which you got to, like, adjust it to the tempo. Sometimes you got to adjust it to the key, whatever. And but it allowed me to use a bunch of sounds that when you hear them, you're kind of like, wow, like, this sounds professional.
Yeah.
Because you're like, how did he even make that sound? Because it doesn't even sound like, I'll have like a saxophone solo.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the
Greg that's on Tropical Interlude. That's actually, I don't. I put this in my thing, but like, I don't listen to interludes. I find them kind of, except for actually Kanye West. I listen to his like skits and shit. Oh, that's actually funny.
They're great.
Like, but usually I don't like skits. I don't like on Dr. Dre's 2001 album. I listened, and like, I did not like his interludes or his skits or anything. I like the songs, some of them, but it's like, but your interlude, I'm like, this is like, because it sounds so different from the album. Like, it's there, like, you can tell it's part of the album, but it like, I mean, for people that you need to listen to it to understand what I'm saying, so go and listen to it. But it's like
plug that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like it's just a great when it comes on when the song starts, you know that it's changing. You know, like it's the album is kind of like it's changing a bit. You know.
Yeah.
Or it's like I don't know because.
I'm glad you say that because to me it kind of separates the beginning and the end of the album.
Yeah,
kinda,
that's how I see it.
Yeah,
100%. Because what's the song? I think the one that comes before it on your album is Reason. I think it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then the one after it is Redefine.
Yeah.
Damn,
you know the.
I know, bro. I'm telling you, I've listened to this probably too much, but
this is great.
I've listened to this a lot.
Like it,
but yeah, man. But and also those two, I like all the songs on the album. Yeah, the last song took me a little bit to get into, but after I listened to it like a couple times, I'm like, okay, this is like I liked it, yeah. Because I would listen to it all the way through because that's how I listen to albums. But those like middle three songs are just like great like music in a sense. Like when I was listening to it, the Redefine and all that is like. There's an actual story being told here, you know. Like it seems like that. Like it seems like there's an actual story being told on the album. But I wanted to ask you because obviously you've got this now. I know obviously you're working on other stuff. There's stuff that's going to be coming out. Yeah. You're still doing covers and stuff on YouTube and everything. Yeah. But I wanted to ask you what's kind of the catalyst. Like what's the starting point that like. When were you? Because you've been doing it for a while now. I think like 5 years or something. So like, when were you like, you know what? I wanna put something out on YouTube, or I wanna put something on Spotify.
It's actually not like it kind of sounds bad as a story because this is the truth, and I don't think it's bad. I think it just is how it came to be. But the truth is that originally I remember just not liking school, and I remember that I just was like. I mean, I had friends and shit, but I just was like, man, I don't like sitting here, listening to stuff that I don't care about.
And this hard plastic chair.
Hard plastic chair, and I'm just like, wouldn't it be great if there was a way out, And I mean, it hasn't worked yet, but
it will.
Right. I mean, we'll see, bro. But I'm gonna keep trying. Mm-hmm. But that was kind of like the idea. Is I'd been watching a lot of Austin Mahone. I don't know if you know about Austin Mahone. He he started just doing a bunch of covers, and then he would now he's dropping albums and he was doing tours and shit, and I was like, man, this is great. Like this kid really like made it out. And actually Austin Mahone was a big influence in me starting to make covers. Okay. And so then I started making covers, thinking like I was gonna drop a video and it was gonna get 1 million views, and now I'm rich, baby. Yeah, out of school. And that did not happen. And I remember after like a year of posting videos and getting like 40 views on the videos, and I had like 150 subscribers after like a year, maybe like 2 years. Bro.
I mean, you've made videos that, like, because I looked at your channel, and it's like, you've made videos that have like 2 million views, like shit like that.
And
like,
then I'll drop the next one and it'll get 8,000 views.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like,
you don't know, bro. You don't know. But I was just, so, it wasn't picking up. Yeah. And I was kind of like, man, this is going nowhere. I'm going to just stop, Yeah. And I stopped for a couple months. And then I just realized I really, really liked it. I realized I'm like I felt like there was something missing when I was doing it, Yeah. Not to get too philosophical. No, it really did. I felt like I was like wasting my time. I was like, I'm just going to school. I come home, I do my homework. Well, I don't do my homework. I come home, I like go to after school activities, whatever they are. Yeah. And I'm just kind of like there's nothing like special. There's nothing going on the side that like I'm really into. And I realized I'm like, oh, I miss making videos. Like making videos was fun as fuck actually. Yeah. And just just singing and making my own interpretation of the songs, even if it gets 50 views, Mm-hmm. And then I just started again, and I was like, and just now it's like the best feeling. The best feeling for me is just producing. Honestly. Okay. I love recording, I love performing, but producing, like making beats, or just producing a track is like. It's because when you find like when you have a beat, you got a drum pattern going, and you find that one like piano sample or something. Yeah. Or I'm playing the piano, and you just hit that one note chord, and like it's hits, magic. Yeah, it just hits really well with the cello or whatever. Like, it's a pretty fucking good feeling. So now I just love it. But the truth is, I started because I was like, I thought I was gonna be a millionaire. Like I just thought it was gonna be like I was just gonna drop a video and I was gonna be out of school.
You ever sampled the song "I Want to Be a Millionaire"?
No.
Okay, well.
That's not a bad idea.
No, it's not. But yeah, because that's a pretty cool, yeah. Because I feel like that's a lot of stuff. I feel like starts of. I mean, either you're bored and you want to do it, or you're like, you know what, this isn't working. Let me try something else, and that way I can be successful, right?
Yeah, so, and I tried like, I have a lot of homies that'll tell me like, I had a friend last summer who told me in France, he was like, bro, you know, you're really lucky to know what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's a good point. And he's like, I have no idea what I want to do, bro. And he's like, I don't really. And he's not a depressed guy. Like, he's a really happy, a really dope guy. But he's just like, there's nothing that like really excites me, you know. That really, I'm just like, and I told him like, and I don't have the answer or anything, but I told him because this is like a lot of people feel this way, and I just said like, you know, you got to try things. Like, and I don't. You know,
experiences,
like, because when I was a kid, I tried like everything, like, and my mom got so sick of it because I would start an activity and quit like instantly. I'd start an activity and like 2 weeks.
Because you're not feeling it. Like, exactly.
Mom was like, you can't. She's like, you got to finish what you start. You know, when you signed up for this shit, you got to do it.
It's a good mentality.
True, but I think that's how I found it. Just doing things, just trying, and then I was like, oh, this is fun, you know. But it's like, it's not, I don't think it's gonna come to you, you know.
You can't just sit. You can't. I'm obviously not saying your friend does this, but it's like you can't just sit somewhere and be
what
like,
did you just say about my friend?
I know. Right? So hold on. This turned violent. Hold on. No, but it's just one of those things where it's like you can't just sit down and like expect things in general to come to you. Like that's just not how it works, man. It's like you really gotta not even grind, but it's like you gotta go and like experience things and find out what really makes you happy, or like you know, even not even maybe happy, but it's like happy because you want to enjoy what you're doing. So it's like, I don't know, because
I just think you have to try things.
Exactly, because it's like that's one thing at least.
It's kind of like if you lose your keys in your house, you could be like, and I'm trying to be all metaphorical here, but you could be like, oh, like shit. They'll show up, you know. I'll just wait around. They'll show up, or you could be like, you gotta look for your keys. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's like I gotta get somewhere in 20 minutes. Let me find these fucking keys. Yeah. But that's I don't know. I'll ask you this. This was actually an alternative starting question, but I'll ask you because I think it fits in. So, do you think that college or education is for everyone, or like is the path to success? No, you know what I'm saying? I mean, which obviously it sounds.
I don't have it's not the path to success. Yeah, it's not. I mean, there's no path to success.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that statement.
But it's like, I like college because I like learning. But honestly, like I'm at a point right now where I would rather do something other than college. But like. I do feel like it's important to be around people my age and to do shit like, but I honestly think like in terms of the education and the things that I'm gonna learn to like fulfill my curiosity and my my like awareness of shit and just my knowledge, I think like I can learn that on my own. Yeah,
I think a lot of learning is in real life actually going, like we were just talking about, going and actually doing stuff and experiencing it. Instead of sitting in the classroom being told about like, which I enjoy the subject, but instead of being like told about, you know, like this is how the ocean rises, or, you know, shit like that, or like this is ocean acidity, which I really enjoy that subject, but like, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily necessary for me personally.
I think it depends on what you want to do.
True, because, like, very true.
I think if you want to be like a groundbreaking engineer, like school might be a good fucking move.
Yeah, you know? Just because you want that foundation. I feel like that's what college is meant for, which people don't. Maybe they do, and I'm just thinking I'm fucking a high-minded, you know, elitist person. But it's like, which I'm
that's
not.
How I would describe you.
That's exactly. That's exactly the. But that's how it's like. Why I've enjoyed basically every subject I've taken at West Valley is because I find a way to relate it to political science, which is what I want to do.
No, that's not it.
Yeah. When you're so paranoid about talking to anyone about anything because you're afraid of it turning on you. Like, I don't know. That's why
I like the celebrities that are just like blatantly honest and they're just like, yeah, you know, and they'll say dumb shit, and they'll be like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I feel like this is a new age celebrity thing, don't you think? Like, this is like, because I feel like more and more people are getting to that mindset almost, where it's like,
nah,
you don't think so?
I think that cancel culture is real. I think people are scared as fuck.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just don't think cancel culture matters. Like, I think it's a thing, but if you, okay, maybe I'm looking at it from more of a political lens. Like, let's say you take Cuomo, right? This man actually did shit. Like, he actually, he actually did shit. But
and he lied, bro. Did you hear he had phone calls with people? And
he was
like screaming at him, honestly, saying if they told the truth, he'd like fire him and shit. Like, bro, oh my god.
Yeah, and I mean as the governor, you make decisions. As the president, which he's not, but as the president, you make decisions every day that cost someone's life. I truly believe that's actually the problem I have with being president, is like how morally compromising it would be for me.
You're the guy sending troops and shit.
I'm sending people to their deaths. Like, shit. Like, I don't know if I could do that. I might, you know, I don't know in about 20 years or shit, but like right now, I just think of like how hard of a decision that would be to, and I'm sure it weighs on that at some level.
I think you make a better decision than Trump.
I might.
Maybe Biden.
Yeah, where it's like, but with Cuomo, for example, with cancel culture, it's like he kind of ignored it and just let it go. Like, he might win a 4th term as governor.
Bro, that's crazy.
Like, I don't think he wants to be president. You can see it in his eyes that he wants to be president.
He made a series of bad decisions, bro.
He's made bad decisions for the past 16 years of power.
Like the sexual assault cases and stuff. Did you see that girl's interview? Or she did like an interview with like 60 Minutes. Where she like talked about it, and she was like really well spoken, and she was, and it's just like
I believe what they're saying about him, and I don't think it's a shock to that many people, to be honest, that like probably know him, because from what I've heard from like, you know, like from what I've heard is like he's not the best guy to work for in general. He's not the best guy to be around. Yeah. He seems like a bully, like from what I've heard from people, and it's like from what he just interacts with. But that's why I kind of believe this. Where I mean, I just think it's true. But
also the nursing homes and all that.
I think that's a more serious, and that, not to like, if someone obviously like if some crime was committed, like you shouldn't be sexually assaulting people. Like what the fuck's wrong with you?
No, yeah,
but it's like
we're not comparing crimes.
Exactly, but I'm just like he made like you said, a series of horrible decisions for his own personal gain, realistically, or like his family's personal gain. And it's like,
I don't know what there was to gain to that
power,
honestly. But getting like the nursing homes, I don't know what.
Well, it was so I believe what that was about. Why he did that is so he would essentially strip liability from. I could be wrong on this. I think it was to strip liability from like massive, like nursing home companies, essentially, because he in the law it's like you can't sue the nursing homes, but we're gonna send you back to do this. So I think it was just to get rid of liability for them.
Right. Okay.
So I think there was a financial element for him for like campaign donors, but obviously I could be wrong. But all I know is like the actual decision, what was made, because that's at the end of the day, like your intentions should matter, but they don't. It's what you've actually done.
Yeah. And
he actually did that.
You think the ends justify the means?
Of what he did?
Oh, just in general.
Oh, in general. I'm like, of what he did. No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm like, that was horrible.
The ends suck and the means suck in his decision.
The ends justify the means?
Yeah, just in general.
No. I think it matters how you do something.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in politics. It really matters how you do something. Just from a political savviness level. Because you can't go out there and like, you know what, I want to be president, I'm going to shoot my opponent. Yeah. Because who's running against me? Yeah. No, you can't do that. Yeah, basically. Yeah. I don't want to get canceled in Russia, so we're going to cut out this part.
No more?
No more. See ya. I wouldn't want to be ya. But, yeah, man. No, it's...
They hate us because they ain't us, bro.
America at its finest, baby. No, it's I don't know, man. It's
my brother, JB, he's a Marine.
Oh, really?
And,
wow.
Yeah. And I remember asking him, I forget how this came up, but we were talking about Guantanamo Bay. And,
yeah.
You know, I was like, how do you feel about America torturing people?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, and I think the way I said it, I was kind of like, you know, I mean, it makes sense because like they torture our soldiers when they capture us, and I said some kind of insensitive shit, and he was like, bro, I think that if we're out here torturing people, then how can we say we're the good guys?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, maybe it gets you information, maybe it gets you, but it's like we're out here trying to stop them torturing people, so we're gonna torture people to stop the torturing.
Yeah.
It's like it's never gonna end.
I wrote my final paper. There was 2 topics for my political science final paper. One of them was on torture, and is torture justified? And my last line of that essay is, if we believe that it's justified after all this, like after everything we know, that it doesn't get better result, like it's been proven, like empirically proven, that it does not really yield better results. Or in cases where there was successful raids, like Bin Laden and all that, like one of the most high-profile successful raids, the information came before he was tortured, and then he was tortured for more information, and he didn't provide it because there was no more.
And a lot of times with torture, people will just admit to crimes they didn't do. Because they just
that's the fear. And
you don't get facts.
There was something in, I guess, but anyway, so in France in the 1500s, I think it was.
They were clever with their torture.
Yeah, well, like prosecutors would torture their subjects, and then it's like either one, they wouldn't break, because that's also another myth, is like people always break, and it's like, no, not always, but when they do, usually they're just saying stuff because they think you want to hear that thing. Yeah. It's not necessarily like because they want to make the pain stop. It's not actionable intelligence.
It's like I don't actually know if this is very similar, but I remember when I was a kid, I heard about witch hunts back in the day.
Yeah.
And how they would throw they would throw a woman that was, or a man that was accused of practicing witchcraft into a well. And and the thing was,
to see if they float, right? Yeah, like they put a rock on them or something. Yeah.
If they float, that means they're a witch, so you gotta kill them.
Yep.
And if they drown and die, they weren't a witch.
Yeah. I thought you were going with the exactly. I thought you were going with the Salem witch trials, where it's that's where I thought you were going with. But yeah. Okay. There we go.
Good shit.
Yeah. But so now we're back.
We're back.
Part 2 or 3, but
let me just go to the pee real quick.
Okay, hold on. Part 4. No, but we so on torture, at least. So I wrote my paper on that, and while you were doing that, I was
torture.
But the last sentence of my paper on torture is, if this is the nation we are, I should stop reading from this. If this is the nation we are, that we would ask those who are willing to die for our nation to perform these horrific acts in the name of their fellow Americans, then perhaps we should take a long look in the mirror and recognize there are villains on both sides of the story. Yeah. So I agree with what your brother said. I truly think if we are willing to torture people for a proven thing that doesn't work, then how can we claim to be the saviors of the world? Yeah. Like how can we claim to be the good guys in any situation? Yeah. Right? Because we're so compromised. Like it's not even about being compromised. Like morally, this is wrong, but we as a nation are compromised if we do this because our values are so.
Yeah, I mean, we do.
Broad.
We do.
We do it. We still do it.
Guantanamo Bay is active.
Yeah, like
there's homies right. As we sit here and talk, there's a homie getting his fingernails removed in Guantanamo Bay right now.
Yeah,
screaming, bro. 100%. I don't know what kind of.
It's like how they do, I just don't understand how you could ask someone. I'm not like the government, some bloke sitting in power, asking like an American Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell being like, you know what, torture. It's still okay. Let's do it. Fuck it.
Yeah, like, I mean, bro, I think it's like super complicated. I think it's the type.
I think there's a lot of things where but then we say this right, and then no one wants another 9/11. No one. Like, I mean, certain people do, but like. People that love this country don't, right? And it's like, I love this country. Like,
I love this country.
Yeah, it's like I don't want anything like that to happen to us again. But at the same time, there has to be limits of what we're willing to do, right? Like we can't just be like, screw it.
Yeah, there's got to be moral limits for sure. There's got to be
rules. Well, that's why with the Patriot Act, for example, I'm like, how, like Bush did it, Obama did it. Pretty sure some parts of it are still held up.
You're talking about Snowden, right? The Snowden thing?
Yeah, well, he leaked a lot of stuff that we were doing more than what we were saying. So, but yeah, the Patriot Act was essentially like, it's okay to spy on American citizens, basically. That's like a quick summary of what it is.
Crazy that they called it the Patriot Act, huh?
Yeah.
See, that's some American shit.
It's the most, when you really think about it, it's the most unpatriotic thing to be like, you know what? Let's violate our privacy. It's like you can't.
That's so sneaky, bro. That's like calling it the Freedom Act. That's like calling an incarceration law the Freedom Act. Literally.
It is. Yeah, we're shit. We're definitely gonna have to do a part 2.
Yeah, 100%.
It's been very very good conversation. I know it's getting it's getting a bit late, and we've been going like an hour longer than what I was thinking of going for. So, but it's a good first episode. Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, Brad. Bro, why I wanted to have you on is as my first, because this is the first time I'm recording this, was really just because like
Khalil's first time.
This is hello guys, but was that the I just don't think we've had a chance to really talk over the past year, like just one-on-one, like we've face-to-face one-on-one, I should say, because like we've talked like online, I guess, like on Zoom calls and shit, even with like, you know, Sean Hedgecock and like all that, like really, you know, I chat with them, but really it's just like we do the Zoom calls for art and that's about it. But yeah, no, it's and what you specifically do with like music and stuff too is like fascinating to me, and so I'm glad we got to talk about that.
Bro, I appreciate you, man. It puts a smile on my face to know that you really like it.
I do, man. I'm waiting to see what comes out next, you know, and
it's coming real soon.
Really?
Do
we have any
I'll just say
month?
It's gonna be in French. So the next
I think we chatted a little about this, where I was asking you if he does something in French, and I can't wait to see what it is. Yeah. So I'm excited. About it. Well, yeah, that makes two of us, man.
Yeah. But thank you for having me, bro.
Of course. It's been real.
And good luck with this podcast. And bro,
Thank you.
Let's do another one for sure.
100%, man. 100%.
Yes, sir.